Hello, Voyagers. Welcome back to our Bible story station. Last time, before we went into our Bible story, we went over our vector verse. Now remember, our vector verse is what helps point us to Jesus, because vectoring is a space term that they use when they have a spacecraft to get from one point to another in a very direct path. That's what our vector verse does for us. It directs us to Jesus and his love for each and every single one of us. So our vector verse is from Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20. Let's read it together, shall we? Glory to God, who is able to do far beyond all that we could ask or imagine, by his power at work within us. Great job. Now, if you're feeling like it, you can pause this video and you can do it in slow motion at home. That was awesome. Last time, we learned about Daniel. Daniel's faith helped him to trust in God. And we learned that through faith in God, we can go beyond in faith because God gives us faith. Daniel's faith helped him to do the right thing, even when it was very tempting to follow along with what he was being told to do, even though it wasn't the right thing to do. Sometimes that happens to us too. We know the right thing to do, and we know the wrong thing to do. Sometimes it's easier to do the wrong thing than it is to do the right thing. But we got to see from Daniel that it was better to do the right thing. This time, our story is also in the Old Testament. And we find ourselves in the palace of King Xerxes. And we're going to be hearing about a person who has to rely on their faith to help them do the right thing too. She has to be very bold in what she does. So let's find out what that is. Come with me. Hello there, Voyagers. I'm Queen Esther. And today I'm going to tell you about a time that I had to be bold and I had to trust in my faith in God so that I could go beyond in boldness to do the right thing. One day, King Xerxes held a feast, and he summoned his wife, Queen Vashti, to come and show her beauty, but she refused. King Xerxes became very angry and went and found a new queen. Hundreds of women came to the palace to meet the king, including myself. But King Xerxes fell in love with me, and we got married, and I moved into the palace. My cousin Mordecai worked in the palace because he was the king's guard, one of them. There was another man who worked and lived in the castle, and his name was Haman. He was King Xerxes' second in command. Now, Haman liked it when people bowed down to him. But my cousin and me were Jewish, and we love God. So we couldn't bow down to Haman because we knew that that wouldn't be the right thing to do. We knew that there's only one God and that we couldn't bow down to Haman because that would be wrong. Haman was very mad that my cousin Mordecai refused to bow down to him. And he decided to try to get rid of Mordecai and all the Jewish people. Mordecai discovered Haman's plot and asked me to tell King Xerxes about it. That made me so nervous. I would get in so much trouble if I went to the king without being invited. But I decided to be bold, and I stood up for my people. I went before my king, and I didn't get in trouble. Instead, he was so happy to see me. I was so relieved by that. The king held out his scepter to me and invited me and Haman to come to the banquet. After 2 banquets, I revealed to Xerxes that he had signed an order to get rid of me and my people. The king was so confused. He didn't want to get rid of me. And I explained that Haman tricked him into writing an order that would get rid of all the Jews. That included me and my cousin Mordecai. King Xerxes was surprised and angry at that. He punished Haman and rewarded Mordecai with a royal procession, as well as giving Mordecai Haman's old job. He also made a new order to protect all of the Jewish people. Everyone was happy. It was a great day for the Jewish people. And it was all because I followed what I thought was the right thing to do. And I showed that I was bold and loved God through my faith so that I could help my people.